Hey everybody, we're back for this evening with another viewer-submitted deck list. This is Janshevik's deck list. Playing some mono blue artifacts for those of you that aren't familiar and haven't seen this deck in action. It centers around the cards Grand Architect, Chief Engineer, and Ethereal Sculptor. All help to make your artifacts cheaper in one way or another. Grand Artifact, your blue creatures tap for 2 colorless mana. Ethereal Sculptor and Chief Engineer reduce the cost of said spells. And you have some cheap, some cheap blue creatures here. Artificer's Assistant helps you scry a little bit when you're casting a bunch of artifacts. Mausoleum Wonder and Judge's Familiar are cheap early beaters that also happen to disrupt your opponent a little bit in terms of making their crucial spells expensive in the early turns. And then you have things like Lodestone Golem to kind of also make things more difficult for your opponent casting their spells and stuff. Smuggler's Copter here can be crewed by most of your cheaper idiots, also helps you dig for stuff. Throne of the God Pharaoh can be quite good when you're tapping all of your blue creatures with Grand Architect. And then you have your bombs. You have Walking Ballista and Hangerback Walker are both very good mana sinks for all your various artifact enablers. Obviously Ballista is the preferred one, but there are some situations where Hangerback Walker can be pretty decent. Wormcoil Engine as just a random bomb to find, and then Immortal Sun, pumps up your creatures. Opponent can't use Planeswalkers, and you draw extra cards. Pretty nice one-of to have. Trinket Mage allows you to go get your Hangerback Walkers and your Walking Ballistas. My only question is hopefully Jan rejoins chat here soon. My only question is do you also want Treasure Mage in the list to be able to go get your Wormcoils and your Immortal Suns? In fact, looking at this list, Jan, I think you should run Treasure Mage and then run some amount of Teleria West to go grab your Ballistas and Hangerback Walkers. So hopefully you'll join chat here soon. That's like my initial thought looking at this. Use these slots for Treasure Mages to be able to get your Wormcoil and Immortal Sun, and then use like Teleria West to be able to grab your Walking Ballistas and Hangerback Walkers. Yeah, I agree. I was just trying to split the difference here. Like Treasure Mage would just replace these 2 Trinket Mages, and then yeah, this is a very nice piece of art. There's one thing about Mana Traders is you're never sure what cards you're getting, and sometimes you get to see the beautiful cards. But it has Academy Ruins. Yeah, I think Academy Ruins is a pretty decent thing to be able to go recur your Walking Ballistas and stuff. So, yeah, the land base, sorry, we hadn't gotten the land base. There's 1 Academy Ruins for Blinkmoth Nexus. I honestly think as simple as this mana base is, it could afford a couple copies of Teleria West to be able to go get your Hangerback Walkers and Walking Ballistas, Jan. So that would free up these Trinket Mage slots to grab your bigger stuff as Treasure Mage. It's just a suggestion. I mean, either way, you're spending 3 mana to go grab, one of your payoffs. So, let's see. I hate good old Magic Online here. Sideboard, couple Unified Wills protect some of your stuff and can come in against combo decks. Yeah, but the same thing, Teleria West can go grab them as well. So, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Echoing Truth deals with problematic permanents, couple dismembers when you need some hard removal spells. Basilisk Collar, pretty good with Walking Ballista and some other stuff. Grafdigger's Cage, pretty good against graveyard-based decks. Pithing Needle here. Yeah, whenever you change versions of cards and you already have the list, sometimes Magic Online with a sideboard will give you Like, I've had like 20 or 21 cards in sideboards before. Pithing Needle shuts down Planeswalkers and other random permanents. Relic of Progenitus, good against graveyard decks as well. Spellsky helps protect your crap. Thorns of Thamnifist, pretty good against the spell-based combo decks, things like Storm. Also pretty reasonable against decks like Burn. Another Immortal Sun when you need to pump up your dudes, and I'm presuming for grindier matchups, and then Wormcoil Engine when you're up against removal heavy decks pretty much. And anything you want to add, Jan, before we get into some games? Yeah. But it also protects the it also can protect some of your like random pieces from spot removal too. Yeah, it's okay against burn, especially since you have the blue mana. But without infecting Bogles in a lot of decks, I'm wondering like how important Spellskite is unless you're like using it to protect your guys. Which this deck definitely has a lot of things it wants to protect, so one of Spellskite's probably fine. So, deck looks pretty sweet. I mean, I don't know if I've ever played. I'm trying to think if I've ever played a mono blue artifact list. If I have, it's been a really long time. As some of you might know, this is my second YouTube channel. So I had a previous one, but I don't think mono blue was a thing then. So mono blue. I've played against it, but I've never played with it. And that was July of last year, so. This hand seems fine. I mean, we've got, like, Mausoleum Wanderer or Judge's Familiar here into either Ethereum Sculptor or Grand Architect, so if we draw another land, this hand's pretty good. Definitely a keep. Oh, control deck. Not good. Or it could, I guess it could be Spirits. This could be a rough matchup. This feels like Spirits. I guess it could be a version of Merfolk, too. Still have no idea. Let's run Smuggler's Copter out here. It's possible we should be jamming Ethereum Sculptor. So, me not attacking with Mausoleum Wanderer was not an accident. I don't want to run face first into our opponent having like their own Mausoleum Wanderer. So, because I suspect they're on Spirits. But I guess they could be on, I'm guessing Blue-White Spirits at this point. But it could still conceivably be Merfolk. So, I think we jam Architect here. Horse Tribal. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a counterspell for this. Opponent's like, what is going on? Do I attack here into this nonsense? Am I binning the, do I even care if they path that? I don't think so. I think we want the extra mana anyway. Sucks they had a path there, but it's whatever. Still think this is spirits. Could still be merfolk. Guess we'll find out here in a minute. Yep, definitely spirits. Alright, blue-white spirits it is. Wouldn't be surprised if this gets spell-colored. Should be entertaining, because we should have most counter spells covered here with our Wanderers and stuff. I'm not going to run... Do I run this Wesleyan Wonder into possible spell queller here? I don't think so. We just let our opponent do whatever they're going to do here. Sure. I mean, guess we are in some risk of getting tempoed out here. Yeah, now we just need to draw like a walking ballista or something. I think if we draw a walking ballista, this game would be pretty well over here. Another Geist Herald's going to be pretty annoying. Hangerback Walker's okay, I just don't know that it'll ever attack here. Strictly dumb. It's alright, War Dog. I figured you had to get to sleep or something anyway, so... Would rather this honestly be a, Alright, Gerald. I'll be streaming throughout the next couple days. I'm not sure exactly when. Well, yeah, but the problem is they can probably kill us here. What's the second cost reducer? Yep, I figured this was going to get quellered. Interesting. Yeah, I know the Sculptor was the one. Right. Forgot about that. Problem is, our opponent has us on probably a 2-turn clock here, so it does make me wonder what's in their hand. Still love to draw a Walking Ballista here. Architect is not the best draw here. I guess it's fine. We play it out. They have another Queller. Of course they have another Queller. Why wouldn't they? Queller is so terrible in this matchup, too. I think our opponent might be dead here. As long as all of our creatures live through combat, I think they're dead here. If they have... Alright, I was going to say, if they had Path as their last card, they were fine. Guess we want a couple copies of Dismember, maybe. Probably Basilisk Color. Yeah. Yeah, Needle for Vile. It's kind of counterintuitive, but I'm going to cut a copy or two of Lodestone Golem here. Simply because, yeah. And then... Yeah, I don't think Hanger Backwalker is great in this matchup. I would like to bring in the second Worm Coil, but at the same time, I don't know how much it matters with Path to Exile and Nebel Herald Geist. So... And then maybe shave like a Judge's Familiar. Yeah, I just like Pithing Needle shutting down Ether Vial. I don't think we can keep a 1-lander. Definitely can't keep a 0-lander. Look, we have a Mausoleum Wanderer too. Does make our Dismember look a lot worse, doesn't it? Doesn't matter what we hold Dismember for. This kind of a draw out of them with us stumbling is just going to get us killed here. Because, like, I can try to Dismember, they'll just sack one of their guys, so I take 4 damage to kill one of their, problem is Lodestone Golem doesn't do much on this board. So, and we still need another land before we can even Convoke, never mind. So the problem is we're taking 4 here. I think Dismember is fine if they don't have Mausoleum Wanderer. The problem is we're stumbling anyway, so... Oh, I'm sure it is a terrible matchup. Maybe cut like 1 Dismember for... Maybe Echoing Truce just better. Like these Lodestone Golems I just think are terrible in this matchup. Maybe we just want a Worm Coil Engine, get these Lodestone Golems both out of the deck, and then... Wow. And the fact that Moto really doesn't like us tonight, that's not really helping. Sign me up. Artifact spells or abilities, you say? Sounds good to me. That's unfortunate. Running this 1 Ballista out here because it allows us to Convoke for more, and it gives them fits. And we have the 2nd Ballista in hand. Because there's no guarantee if they're like able to hold up Spell Quellers and stuff here that we can actually resolve a 2nd Walking Ballista. And they might have brought in things like Unified Will or other counter spells. So we want to get the Ballista on the board while we can. Feels like a path here. Hopefully they don't have a... Actually, we almost kind of want them to play a Rattle Chance here, don't we? Wow. They are going hard on the... Still think we want to resolve this Architect. As much as I would like to double spell here, I think Architect is worth far more than either one of these spells. Yeah, but the problem with those Echoing Truce is they without pressure in play, because Jan, they can hold up Spell Queller, and Grand Architect is worth far more than either one of the other two cards. Far more. I know I could have played both, but Architect is worth far more in play than the other ones. Ah! Oh, that was awesome. Oh, man. Let me play my Thalia so I can concede. Oh, that was pretty good. Oh. Oh, wow. Just want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. If you're new to the channel watching this later on YouTube replay, this video is brought to you by, or this particular deck is brought to you by Jankovic. He's a big proponent of this style of deck. He plays some off-the-wall stuff from time to time, so they bring that in against a blue creature deck. To be fair, War Dog, not too many people have seen Blue Artifact, so it's been a while since most people have played that. It's like, okay, even for example, how many people have played, like, I don't know how many times I've played against people with Amulet Titan, and they think or they forget that that deck's a thing. And that deck has won major tournaments since the banning. So, if a tier, or, you know, 1/4% of the meta deck like Amulet Titan people forget about, a deck like Blue Artifact that hasn't had any, like, crazy hype in the last, like, 10 to 12 months, people aren't going to know how to play against it. It's one of the weird things about playing so much Modern and being a streamer, is I see, like, so many decks that people forget about. So, it's actually kind of entertaining. And I don't think the versions... 8-Rack's kind of difficult to play against to a certain degree. Like, as the burn player, my only thing is hope to top deck enough burn spells after you get me Hellbent. And then hope my Wear Terrors can hit you one of your random pieces of life gain, or whatchamacallit. I see sideboards still busy over there. Man, everybody's having a late night stream tonight. I hope we find another opponent here soon. But yeah, it's kind of hard to... No, well, he had a donation deck, it looks like, so he can't play Arena. This is an interesting hand. He has a donation deck, it looks like, so he can't play Arena. This is an interesting hand. 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 This is I think we keep it though. We up against Burn? No, looks like more like likely Valakut. Nope. Never mind. This is gonna be a as much fun as the last match was. Okay. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, I bet not, War Dog. I bet not. Looks like some style of Dredge deck. Might be Vengevines, but why play the Phoenix? This is the card that makes me think they have more spells than anything else. No, this looks more like just regular Dredge. Raven's Crime? Wow. This guy's going deep. I am intrigued, opponent. I am intrigued. Although I think we're about to get milled some. Yep. Or are they milling themselves? Guessing they're milling themselves. Alright. Interesting. Interesting. Our opponent's got a lot of interesting stuff. I guess they get to flashback souls here. Flame Jab. I guess we don't get to do anything next turn, unfortunately. So our opponent has Flame Jab and Retrace. It's unfortunate these cards are in our sideboard. Yeah, Flame Jab is an annoying card. Opponent's got an interesting deck. We got Creeping Chilled. Our Master's probably going to get Flame Jabbed. That said, if we ever get this, Worm Coil engine in play, I'm not sure how they're gonna win. Okay, Arc Lake Phoenix, so definitely a way they can win. Why they attack with that card, I will never know. What am I pitching here? I think slowing them down's a little ambitious right now. I think their board's already to the point where slowing them down isn't going to do us a terrible lot of good right now. I guess Golem could have been okay, but they probably just would have conflagrated it. Definitely need the Graveyard Hate cards on the sideboard for this matchup. I think it's just thrown here. Hope they don't conflag away our board this turn. Nope, they're just going to conflag to kill us. Alright, well. Definitely need a cage or something for this matchup. Though our opponent does have an interesting brew. Yeah, throwing is slow. Okay. So, cards we want. Cage. Relic. Like, their deck is predicated on casting a lot of spells. Truth. We probably want the second Worm Coil engine. I think I'm interested in a couple copies of Thorn of Amethyst. And I think I'm going to go down a couple copies of Lodestone Golem. Do love... Yeah, what they're doing is pretty unique for what's going on in... maybe... I think Echoing Truth might be a little too cute even on the draw. And then go down... Huh. I think we need to resolve a Graveyard Hate piece and then into... I mean, like, we'll keep this hand, but because we don't really have enough Graveyard Hate pieces to really, like, truly dig for one. So, just gotta hope we looter scooter into stuff. That's obnoxious. Yep, Mage can search for Cage. Like, our opponent has a lot of stuff that randomly kills X1s, which is annoying. This feels like the old, this was an older version of Dredge that, what was his name was playing, yeah, But there was somebody who was a really huge proponent of this deck. I can't remember what their name was. I think it was, question is, which card am I getting rid of here? This is tough. Because, like, all of these cards are excellent. I guess we get rid of the land. Feels bad, but I think it's the land. I think it was, I don't think it was Maynard. I think it was, Levy. Raphael Levy. Hopefully this is just like flashing back looting. Yeah. Grudge is going to be a problem. Grudge is going to be a problem. See if I can induce them to grudge this hangerback walker before we deploy a worm coil engine next turn. Because I'm trying to induce them to use this ancient grudge on hangerback walker. Now they have Conflagrate, it's even more appealing to them. This might also get them to bite. Flash back the grudge before we can block here. So they're going really low on life here, which is kind of entertaining. No, but just the value stuff they have going on in their graveyard is going to be pretty rough for us too. So right now we have access to... That's what I'm trying to do the math on here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 mana? No, I think we're one short here. How do we have 10 mana? Hangerback Walker doesn't... Hangerback Walker doesn't tap for blue mana or a mana unless I turn it into a blue creature. So which card is worth more here? Is Lodestone Golem worth more, or is Worm Coil? I think it's got to be Worm Coil. Yeah, definitely need the life this turn. And then we can, ironically, we can use the Hangerback Walker to pump itself up. Let's see what they... Oh, they hit another Ancient Grudge. That card is so obnoxious for us. Especially since they have that freaking Conflagrate. We really need to find Grafdigger's Cage or Relic next turn. Why did they shock? Oh, for Ancient Grudge here? Actually, we can protect Wormcoil Engine with Mausoleum Wanderer here. Yeah. I was just waiting till their end step to see what they'd do. Another Grand Architect. Alright, so they're not even... They shocked in for absolutely no value then. Oh, I'm definitely playing the Golem. Now I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Like, now they can shatter the... Their mana base is... They didn't have a fetchable land. Ouch. Mm-hmm. Alright, we won a game without having any graveyard hate. Sweet. The more I'm seeing out of the deck, the more these Thorns are just... Like, they're fine. The Ancient Grudges are such an annoying card for us to deal with, though. Like, we kind of got lucky that game to have beaten it. Maybe we should bring in Spellskite? I think we just run it back the way it is. Maybe, but I don't know if that's worth bringing in here. Like, if they're dumping their entire hand to Zombie Infestation, we're going to have a hard time... I don't know. I don't know that bringing in one hate piece is good enough here. Like, obviously, if we wanted to be a dredge deck or something, I think we'd need a little bit more graveyard hate consistently. Well, with the Life in the Loam thing, though, get going, they can conceivably make a decent amount of zombies over a couple turns. Like, his deck's got a lot going in a lot different directions. So, definitely not impossible for them to get off the ground quickly, but I don't think this hand's good enough. Hopefully we scry. I'm gonna say, hopefully we scry a second land to the top here. Because Cage into Thorn will slow them down quite a bit. And if they don't have an Ancient Grudge in their hand, they're going to have a lot hard prime answering this Cage. We just pitch one of the Smuggler's Copters here. I think that keeps them from doing Retrace. If they have Ancient Grudge, they have Ancient Grudge. There's not much we can do about it. Feels like... Nope, Life from Loam. Alright. Is this Ancient Grudge here? Nope, Zombie Infestation. Alright, so... Oh, my own card keeps this from being supremely effective. Kinda awkward. Now we just gotta find a way to beat their zombies. Kinda funny how we talked about this situation and then it pops up. Need to find Worm Coil Engine, we need to find something. Did that to get rid of the life from the loams, because the loams are the biggest headache they had going on there. And their zombie infestation gets a lot worse if they don't have access to loam. Not to mention those lingering souls are pretty annoying too. Like, we can beat 2 or 3 zombies. The other stuff, that's debatable. 5 mana. Hard cast, Creeping Chill, sure. Yeah, it's probably their list with some updated cards, because Creeping Chill gives you another reason to potentially go into it. Another hardcast Creeping Chill. Sure. Yeah, I probably should have left it in my hand to loot, but the problem is, as long as we're in this stalemate, maybe the problem is the only thing keeping back these zombies is the smuggler's copter. Oh, you mean chipping in with blink moth? Yeah, I should start chipping in with blink moth. But smuggler's copter, I definitely want to leave back right now. Because smuggler's copter is the only thing that's checking these zombies right now. And besides, if we really need to loot something away, we can always loot away the Oloro. Phoenix is going to be really obnoxious here. I think I just take this hit. Next turn I trade the ink moth for it. Ink moth is a 2/2, Jin. Ink moth is a 2/2. I think we just get rid of the second thorn here. That's obnoxious. 3-mana Dark Blast don't seem great, do they? I honestly think they would have been better served making a zombie there, but yeah. I guess I should have played Ballista here pre-combat, because that would have enabled lethal. What on earth is this? Now, our opponent actually made a small mistake. Oh, never mind. Cage keeps them from casting from the graveyard. Didn't they dredge Dark Blast? Yeah, it has value in being able to get to your specific pieces, War Dog. Like, there are certain matchups we wouldn't have, certain games we wouldn't have won without finding certain cards. And being able to get some card selection in this deck, hard cast Conflagrate's not a concern anymore. And besides, they dredged Dark Blast, so their hand is Dark Blast. Yeah, Copter's perfectly fine. So, I mean, this is an interesting deck. I don't really know what my expectations were going into the matches, but Throne of the God Pharaoh, basically for each creature you control that's tapped, your opponent loses that much life. Since you're already tapping your guys with Grand Architect and stuff, it's a great way of randomly, like, doming your opponent for like 4 to 6 damage per turn. Alright, so general thoughts on the deck. Jan, you've done some pretty good work, man. This deck is something. I don't know. Definitely would have to play it more to get a good idea of what's going on, what tweaks to make, etc. Deck's definitely pretty sweet. I mean, yeah. That's all I gotta say on it. I'm getting pretty tired, and so my coherent thoughts are not very coherent right now. I mean, beyond that, deck's pretty sweet. Was a blast to play. The fact that we were able to beat Spirits and a pseudo dredge deck shows the deck's definitely got range against various archetypes. So, deck was a blast to play. Glad we got a chance to play it. I'm definitely going to sign off for the night here. I wanted to stream later tonight, but I'm just too tired. So, hopefully I will catch you guys again in the morning, and I hope everybody has a good evening. This has been Dusk for Dusted On Gaming. Hope everyone has a good night's sleep, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are.